It is Wednesday evening, the 21st of October, 2020. Come, let us explore Vajrayana, Mahayoga, and Dzogchen's Togal practices for universal happiness. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. Welcome to Meditate Like a Jedi. Hello, viewer on YouTube. Feel free to introduce yourself in the chat area. Ask me your questions, tell me your needs. At the top of the page, we see the word mind. That is a reference to the 4 bases of mindfulness, one of the constants of the Buddha's teaching career, sometimes described as satipatthana, or 4 bases of mindfulness. We're going to begin with something known as Anu Yoga, or energy work. It's quite simple. During our inhalation, we're going to silently and mentally recite grin to gut. Now this is a subtle grin. Think less Pennywise the Clown and more Mona Lisa. But the real magic is what happens during the out-breath when we relaxingly whisper the 6-syllable mantra of Red Tare. Om rhymes with home. Ta sounds like the greeting ta-ta. Ray sounds like ray gun. Tom sounds like it's short for Thomas. So sounds like something Picard would say to Riker. Make it so. Ha sounds like laughter, doesn't it? Now, our job is not to sing it operatically or intone it frighteningly, but to whisper it, and as we do, to physically relax as best we can. No one wants to lose count, so to prevent that from happening, let's touch the tip of our left thumb to our left index finger and slide it down to our lower set of creases. We're going to count this for 1 breath upon the lower set of creases of our right little finger. Grin to feet. Grin to hands. Here you go. Here you go.
Good to see you.
Likewise.
Jigme.
Oh, you got me.
I got it. You say I remember.
Okay, so what's your first initial?
Scott. S.
S. Okay.
I'll remember it next time.
I better, or you'll sick your dogs on me. Let's conclude with grin to crown. Now let's shift gears. Let us advance our left thumb up our left index finger to its middle set of creases. And now we begin our love work. The flavor of love we're playing with is what my Tibetan teachers called wishing love. This is what the Buddha described as the second fold of his path, right aspiration. So wishing love is different than acting love. Acting love would be loving communication or loving behavior or loving livelihood. But this is just intention. It's not emotion. It's simply intention. It's where we point our will. On the in-breath, we silently and mentally recite joy for each mind. On the out-breath, we relax as best into the whispered recitation of Om Tare Tam Soha. So we're going to do this for 4 breaths. We'll begin on our right little finger. And as we do, take a moment to allow that intention, to direct that intention towards yourself, towards your own mind. And now direct that intention towards your neighbors. And now direct that intention towards all beings of this planet, whether they walk or crawl or swim or fly. All of them want to be happy and not be sad. All of them want to live and not die, just like us. Now let us direct our intention to whatever artistic representations of the universe you've been exposed to or can imagine. It's time to advance our left thumb again up our left index finger to our higher set of creases. Now we're practicing the fancy Tantra stuff. You could call it Vajrayana, you could call it Mantrayana, you could call it Mahayoga, or if you fancy Tibetan, you could call it Togal. As we inhale, we could observe that our mind is perceptive. However, as we relax into the whispered recitation of the 6-syllable mantra, we could notice that exact same mind is as non-graspable as a vast, empty void. Like the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, or like a syllable tom comprised only of light. Now it's time to give our minds a rest and just perform a spontaneous awareness meditation. This goes by many names. such as Mahamudra, Mahasandhi, Ati Yoga, Zen, Chan, Dreksho, in Tibetan Dzogchen. It's really simple. On the in-breath, we silently and mentally ask the rhetorical question, how relax into the awareness of this? And this is a pronoun, deliciously vague. It applies to whatever we experience in the present moment, whether it's external or internal, pleasurable or painful, or neither, interesting or boring, glorious or grotesque. So let's advance our left thumb up our left index finger to its tip. Now let us advance our thumb over the top of our left index finger, down its back until it comes to rest upon the higher knuckle. For now, we're going to perform the silent version of this meditation. And now let's turn our attention to, I don't know if you're as geeky as me, or if you've ever watched reruns of Monty Python's Flying Circus, but in the words of John Cleese, and now for something completely different. In addition to the 4 bases of mindfulness, and by way of review, circumstance, body, the experience of the interpersonal and mind, the Buddha taught the 8 worldly concerns, which are basically 4 pairs of instinctual drives, a pair corresponding to each of the 4 bases of mindfulness. These drives are hardwired into our central nervous system, and they are the engine that drive our neurosis, our rage, our fear, our sorrow. The bad news is we cannot repress them, we cannot get rid of them, even if we were to become Buddhas tomorrow or next week. However, we can be mindful of them, and we can harness them. We can harness them with compassion, and love and letting go. And that is exactly what we're going to do right now. Now, if you've been working with me for a while, you know that we've practiced the sutric version of this. Tonight we're going to practice the tantric version. The difference is the sutric relies on analytical contemplation, whereas the tantric version relies more on relaxing into the non-graspable nature. That could be called Mahamudra, or that could be called Treksho, depending on whether you prefer Sanskrit or Tibetan. Now that you have an overview, let's dive in. One of the petty inconveniences of the mask is I can't sip my beverage. I can't sip my Perrier, but I can think longingly of it. So let's deal with circumstance. Now, the duality with circumstance is we crave the absence of loss. And on the other hand, we crave the presence of gain. So it's loss and gain. This is hardwired into each of us. So we're going to use this as an excuse to train in compassion. Compassion is the desire. Compassion observes someone's suffering and it wishes to take that suffering away. Remember, this is aspirational. It's wishing compassion. And sometimes that's all that is required of us. At the very least, it strengthens the neural pathways of our midbrains. For as healthy mammals, each of us was born with an anterior gyrate and a firmament of mirror neurons. Arguably, we are wired for empathy and cooperation. And these exercises really help with that. On our in-breath, we're going to silently and mentally recite, soothe all loss. We're not working magic, we're merely guiding our intention. On our out-breath, we silently and mentally recite the 6-syllable mantra. We recite it while we whisper it, while we're physically relaxing as best we can. Let us touch the tip of our left thumb to our left little finger. Slide that bad boy down to the bottom. To the lower set of creases. We're going to perform this for 4 breaths. We'll begin counting on our right little finger. We now bring this same dread of loss into the path of the wisdom of letting go. Let us advance our left thumb up our left little finger to its middle set of creases. How relax into the awareness of loss. Let us advance our left thumb up our left little finger to its higher set of creases. And now we flip the coin and we consider the desire for gain. Just as we want gain, so does every other complex life form, regardless of how we define gain. All of us want food and shelter and clothing. It's hardwired into each of us. So let us wish gain for all. Let us advance the tip of our left thumb up our left little finger to its tip. How relax into the awareness of gain. Let us advance our left thumb down the back of our left little finger to its higher knuckle. We now perform the silence meditation. We're going to perform this for 16 breaths. We now shift gears away from circumstance into our bodies. Let us release our thumb from our little finger and touch it instead to our ring finger, and then slide it down to its lower set of creases. Let us begin by yearning to soothe all pain. all complex life forms love pleasure and hate pain. It is one of our common denominators that unite all complex life forms. And while we are on the subject, there's no such thing as humane slaughter. There's no such thing as humane exploitation. Therefore, let us personally no longer exploit, no less murder other living beings or pay others to do it for us. Let's choose a whole food vegan diet. If that seems daunting, use the link in the description area below to look up Mike the Vegan channel, and he'll be glad to set you straight. And now we extend our left thumb up our left little ring finger to its middle set of creases. And now we let go of pain through the power of relaxation. Let us advance our left thumb up our left ring finger to its higher set of creases. And for the next 4 breaths, let us wish bliss for all. In this context, bliss is merely any form of pleasure, from the very, very coarse to the very, very subtle. Let us advance our left thumb further up our left ring finger to its tip. How relax into the awareness of bliss. let's advance our left thumb over the back of our left ring finger until it comes to its higher knuckle. And now let us relax into silent, spontaneous meditation. We now release our left ring finger and instead touch our left thumb to our left middle finger and slide it down to its lower set of creases. We now come to the third base of mindfulness, communication, which is an excellent metaphor for our experience of the interpersonal, or how we relate to others. Can be described in terms of verbal and nonverbal communication. So, the fear of loss, the fear of pain were from the brainstem. The fear of scorn is from the midbrain. The midbrain is common to all healthy mammals. And the majority of mammals are social creatures. They evolved to work in teams. So we have a profound set of drives to maintain that. So social animals' survival depends upon cooperation. And anything that could undermine that cooperation reduces their chances of survival. This dread of scorn is hardwired into each of us. So we're not trying to get rid of it. We're trying to find a way to be driven a little less mad by it. Because remember, evolution is kind of a bastard. It doesn't select for happiness or peace or fulfillment. It only selects for reproduction. And as once we live long enough to reproduce, evolution is pretty much blind to us. So bearing that in mind, that's one of the that's the blind side of natural selection. Let us, on the in-breath, let us silently and mentally recite, soothe all scorn. Now, I got the battery running low sign, so if this gives out on me, that's not me hanging up on you because I don't love you. It's just because I'm trying to deal with my limping computer. Well, it's getting kind of dark, so let me put on my scary, scary spotlight. There we go. Now I'm underlit, just like a villain. Let us advance our left thumb up our left middle finger to its higher set of creases. How relax into the awareness of scorn. Excuse me, middle set of creases. I got a little turned around there. We now advance our left thumb further up our left middle finger to its higher set of creases. So just as we all dread scorn, we all desire praise. Whether or not we admit it to ourselves, whether or not we're even aware of it, it's wired into our midbrains. Let us advance our left thumb further up our left middle finger to its tip. How relax into the awareness of praise. Let us now advance our left thumb over the top of our left middle finger to its higher knuckle and practice silent meditation. Notice